Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Pros podcast by Investor Fuel, the nation's premier real estate mastermind. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show we have George Otel. George is an entrepreneur with over 10 years active in real estate and has lately been active in the commercial lending space, which I'm very interested in talking with him about today on the show. George, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dylan. Thanks for having me. I really hope your audience will get a lot of insights and think differently when it comes to real estate and structuring the deals properly to take advantage of the current market.
I love it. I love it. Before we hopped on here, and I always like to get folks' background, you mentioned that you're familiar actually with where I am. It's a town called Denton because you were in the trucking business and you drove all over.
Yeah. Starting 2012, I had the trucking company till 2015. Then 2015 started moving into real estate. And we were doing the real estate on the financing side, more short sale from the banks, buying the houses that were in foreclosure, renegotiating, doing the short sale. Then 2018, I started commercial deals, doing more commercial deals, buildings, buying businesses, financing businesses nationwide. So it's interesting time to be in. A lot of opportunity. There is a lot of risk, but if you have a proper mindset and right tools and network, it converts in opportunities.
I actually spoke with a woman earlier today who maybe had a similar backstory. She was in the trucking industry, but she was out in the East Coast, I believe Maryland and Pennsylvania. And I found it interesting because I didn't realize, but maybe there's a certain type of person, and you might see this, who goes from trucking into real estate. And that could be a common pathway. I didn't realize it was there, but it makes sense.
Yes. So, for example, in Chicago area, we have multiple deals. The trucking transportation companies, they obviously need space to park the trucks, to service them. So they buy the real estate. Some of the deals, basically, it's 10%. At a couple times, we got deals with 100% financing. If you lease it for 12 months, I can help you finance 100% financing. So basically, after the financing, you're gonna pay less for the mortgage, for the loan, than you pay for the rent. Yeah, it's mind blowing, but it's reality. And we have multiple deals going on right now in Chicago for a logistics company, warehouses, shops, parking, and those are good opportunities. I have one deal we financed last year. It was over $4 million. Then my client calling me like, "Hey George, what's going on?" So basically, the seller calling him say, "Hey, I wanna buy it back. I'll give you 1 million over." But my client, "Hey, I didn't buy it to flip it. I buy it for my business." So that's he was renting 7 years before that. So he's like, "Wow, how many opportunity I lost during this time."
You're you're doing such good business, everyone is finding out. Going from trucking to the real estate space and then lending, right? But you started out before you were in the real estate space and you mentioned you did some flips. What was the knowledge that you sought out and how did you make that transition?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So I like the financing side, the paper side, because I took a step back and I ask questions to myself to better understand my identity. I don't like kind of like doing this the rehab stuff and managing people because I don't like that. But I like the paperwork. I like the negotiation to find out the structure to make it happen. So that was kind of my going to this towards this line. And a lot of times folks need financing and I help them to get a better deal. Like let's say most of my clients that I work right now, I get them lined up with financing, with everything. And let's say they're looking for the property for a couple months. And when something pops up, they ready. They submit the LOI, the offer, and the financing. And basically, there is 5, 6 offers coming. And most of the time, my clients win it because the seller see that my clients are prepared and solid and serious because they have a offer, they have a financing lab lined up and good to go. Imagine, because it's being prepared, having a team on your back. It's a game changer.
So when you were getting into the lending space, did you already have a network of investors that you knew needed capital?
Just a little bit, but I've been working. I have been improving my knowledge. I've been going to a lot of conferences. I spent over 250 grand just to improve my skills, my relationship, and I'm still going. I have 3 conferences in the next 30 days, and I have seven podcasts going. So it's working nonstop.
It's really a energizing line of work though, because you're doing what you want to do on your own schedule, right? You're not sitting in a truck, right? So the being able to create your own lifestyle, that must have been very appealing.
Yes, it's basically I'm telling myself if I'm not gonna do my best every day, I'll wake up in a truck. So I don't want to wake up in a truck. I want to make sure I do something because it's tough. Trucking is tough. Trucking is tough. The real estate is tough too. Look, I have clients they lose deals, buildings, and because they're not structured right. It's
It's one of
it's a
those
lot of
choose
things.
your hard type of situations. So talk to us going from 2015, when you made the entry into real estate to 2018, when you first got into the commercial lending space. You're finding your first couple of clients. Talk us through how those first couple of deals went, where you're finding your first couple of clients to lend money to. What were the projects that they were trying to take down or to make offers on? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so we did some deals with houses. I was trying to buy in wholesale houses. So I was calling this guy for he was selling a building, 8 unit. And I call him and he's like, "Hey, I sold my building like 6 months ago, but I may have some houses. Would you be interested?" I said, "Yes, of course." And that's how we got it. So we flipped that portfolio. Then just going to networking events and start talking with people. Let's on LinkedIn. I'm active on LinkedIn. I do a lot of content for people interested in acquiring commercial real estate. So it's content is based on my experience, my knowledge, and that's how they approach me. I have over 1,000 lenders, banking partners that can help me solve the deal. It's sometimes just today I had someone got rejected from his bank. He was waiting 30 days. I told him, "Hey, give me 5 days. I get you an approval." He didn't even send me the paper based on him talking to me. I said, "I give you an approval, pre-approval in 5 days."
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So talk to us a bit about the lending space, because I'm not in the lending space. I'm a wholesaler, right? I just got my real estate. I didn't get the license yet, but I passed the exam on Monday, thank God. And
Good, congrats.
thank you. It's not easy. I've spoken now
Oh,
to quite a number of
nothing's
people.
easy. Everybody will do it.
And the lending space is interesting because I see a lot of real estate investors go from wholesaling to fixing and flipping to maybe long-term holds, right? And then from there they'll get into lending. So this seems like a common path. Now, with you, you're in the commercial lending space. So how has your growth been? How have you scaled over the years since 2018?
So it was during the COVID. We have like this unpleasant situation. We had multiple deals in pipeline. Everything blow up, and we start everything from scratch again. So basically, last year we done couple deals. I was focusing on other projects as well, but I was doing financing most of the time. So basically, in the last 3 months, my pipeline doubled since the deals I was doing last year because I decided to take it more seriously. And there's a big problem going on right now. A lot of deals were done wrong, and they gonna go belly up basically. So people who have knowledge and access to financing, to the right financing, to good financing, gonna take advantage of that. So the idea is like to understand, because let's say you do a single family. I had couple loans on a single family, so it
Yeah.
was like 200,000 300,000, and at the same time I was working on two other deals over 3 million each. And so basically I closed those $3 million faster, and I make 10 times more commission rather than working on the small ones. So it's the same thing.
Let's delve into that here, George. To your point, I don't have any deeds in my name or in my company's name, so
Yeah,
I'm just at the beginning. You can remember what that was like.
yeah.
And it seems like it's almost the same amount of stress dealing with a large deal as it is a smaller deal. Both
Yes,
are
yes.
significant, but if you're gonna catch a fish and it's gonna take 6 hours, you might as well catch a big fish.
Yeah. I decided for myself, instead of doing 30 deals, I'll do 10 deals, but one is covering the
Yeah. And
because
so, go
it's
ahead.
it's the same structure and it's the same stress. But you wanna when you get like a over 6 figure check, it's like it was worth it. You forget the pain, you forgive yourself. And
Do you remember your first deal of that size? Was it in 2018?
no, it was a couple of years ago. Yeah, it was a tough one. It was a tough one, but having experience with the singles, with the other deals prior, basically this the financing side is a relationship, because like most of the bank they know each other. So I am in couple chats with the multiple banks, funds, rates, and basically if I have a deal and I the fastest way to find out, I just ask my network. It's like a couple hundred people that they do millions every day. in underwriting. So the idea is like it's the same process, but it's a lot of times it's easier if you take a step back and just look on the right numbers. There's a lot of industrial. Let's say you buy a single family, you lease it every year, and you have a tenant. You obviously everybody knows the problem. You have an industrial, you do a triple net, so the tenant is responsible for everything,
Everything.
and the lease is like 5 to 10 years. So if you do the right financing, you basically, as I mentioned earlier, the mortgage is lower than the rent,
It's
so they're
cash
gonna
flow.
pay rent, and you're just gonna take care of the roof and the parking, everything. They take care of everything, and just the lease is 5 10 years, and the property goes up and the rent goes up.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
It's a when done correctly, it's like the perfect weather. When
Yeah,
done incorrectly, there's increased leverage, right? So talking about your first deal, I could hear in your voice and then seeing it on video, it was I could see there was some obstacles in that first big
oh
deal,
yeah,
right?
it was sometimes I just I'm in the office sitting on couch for 1 hour just thinking how to structure this right. So it's like those small things that make the whole thing happen. So on the first one, basically the seller didn't want to sell it to my clients, to the borrower,
Yeah.
because we were using an SBA loan, and I asked the bank what they do usually in this situation. So basically, the bank knew the seller. They the person from the bank, they knew the seller, and he called the seller and say, "Hey, it's me. I got this financing lined up, and we're good to go." So we got the deal done because of the relationship, and it's a small circle. Everybody knows everyone, or I know you know someone that knows the person that I need.
Friend of
It's
a
a small
friend.
circle. It's small community.
George, for myself and folks who may be unfamiliar, when we're thinking about lending, I'm always thinking about there's one person, they've got the capital, I've got the project, I'm connecting myself, the lender, with the person. But in your line of work, there's a bank, there's you, and then there's
The
the person
borrower.
who needs the capital. So explain the relationship between you and the bank.
So basically, I process things for the bank, and I know what banks what does what because I'm on constant update. We talk with a lot of banks on a weekly basis, and they tell me, "Hey, we do this, we're looking on that." So every week, I talk with multiple lenders, new connection, and then basically they tell me what deals they do, so I kind of have an understanding. So when some of my clients come to me, I already know where to go. And let's say you go into the bank, you like you nobody, they nobody knows you, and yeah, you just go in the talking with the first available person. When I go, I talk with the vice president or a partner. They say they have like 30 40% percentage in the equity in the bank, and I have, let's say, 15 20 millions with that bank. They're gonna tell me, "Hey George, I'm doing this deal, or if I'm not doing, I'm gonna know right away." So that's the leverage.
So
And there is
when you
certain things that the bank's not gonna tell you as a borrower, but they tell me, and I help you structure things differently to make sure it's happening. And a lot of time you see things differently and you stress out. But I tell, hey,
oh,
look, I mean, it's normal. It's gonna take a couple days, and I take your hold your hand all the way from the application to the funding process, because it's it's bigger numbers, but the stress sometimes is bigger because, like, I mean, look, people used to buy 300,000 400,000 houses, but you go to millions, it's a bigger check.
So again, for myself and for folks who are unfamiliar, so you're effectively gaining capital from the bank
Yep,
due to your
I connect you.
expertise, and
I
then you're the connector. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I talk to you. You send me the financials. I kind of do a small underwriting. I see who may do it. Then I go to the bank. They give me their sheet. Then I connect you. You have a conversation with the bank. Say, hey, nice meeting you. And then we all work together. It's like you work directly with the bank. They say, hey, I need this, and I'm basically in the middle. Like we still on the same table, but I'm doing most of your work and some of the work from the lender that it make it happen. I'm the guy that makes sure things are happening.
So for folks who are thinking about going to a lender, right?
Yeah.
And they approach someone like you, would they effectively be going under contract with you initially, and that's when your fees would be paid, or are your fees being paid once the loan is processed and the project
Yeah,
is?
yeah. I get paid when everything is funded. It's like
I see.
nobody pays me anything. Basically, you wanna do let's say a single family. We have lines of credit up to $4 million. Let's say if you're doing single family flips, I can hook you with a line of credit, so you don't have to go for like a hard money guy all the time. I get you approved with this line of credit, and then when you have a flip, you submit the budget and the deal information, and basically get the funding. So that's how it works. And then if you have let's say free and clear properties, you get the cash out and leverage that to buy more or to do whatever you want.
This is a
So
very niche space that you're in, and I'm
yeah, yeah,
imagining your expertise is super valuable to
yeah.
your clients because if they're trying to get a large loan for a commercial deal, they don't know where to turn. And you've done this so many times and you've worked with all the banks. When you were getting into it, was this something that you had sought out yourself? Had you had the need for commercial lending, or was it you were seeing it in the groups that you were a part of that this was a
Yep, yep.
potential career
That
path?
was that was I was my second mentor. He was doing the financing side because like it was interesting. Like he was like coaching me through the process how it works, and I said, hey, what do I need to know about your business to bring you more clients? Because like I'm sure more people are in my situation. So he coached me. I was bringing clients. Basically, I was with him on the line, and I kind of understand this structure. Then I was talking with the clients and just sending him the application. Now I have my business doing that thing. So either you want to do your flip, buy a house, single family. I don't do basically residential mortgages, but I do bridge loans on a single family. So up 4 units, I can close in 2 3 weeks, like up to $3 million bridge loans, and on the buildings 30, 60, 90 days, franchises and other stuff, we get it done. As you mentioned earlier, you go to one bank, they have only one option. You
Yeah.
coming to me, I have multiple options, and if one doesn't work, I have the other one lined up, and it's less frustration from you because now it's a little bit of chaos because a lot of things are changing, a lot of kind of like stress, distress
Yeah.
coming up. So, but we're still lending nonstop. I get deals done, and it's because I was prepared for that. I learned, and like in 2020, I was not ready. I was like, it was I was punched in the face. I was facing the reality. I was standing and like, yeah, it's my price.
I mean,
Now
you
I'm
have to
ready. I'm
think
excited.
commercial was a tough spot to be in during COVID, right? You think commercial, you think it was bulletproof, but then of course we saw what happened during COVID. What was interesting was industrial was doing very well. So
Still
you had
good.
commercial doing bad, but then if you could be agile and make a change and move to industrial, you had warehouses because everybody was going from buying from home, right? So warehouses were doing great. So you must have seen that and Talk a little bit about that. You mentioned before we hopped on about industrial.
Yeah, industrial. So in the Midwest basically multifamily last year. We're talking about 2024. Multifamily was down 12 to 17%. Office 20-30% down. Industrial was 0.2% positive. It's
Yeah.
like because everybody's buying, and especially with tariffs, with what's going on in the country, manufacturing is gonna be back. And so the prices for industrial, let's say you buy something for $2 million, $1 million in 2020, 2021, 22. Now it's double, at least double. And do you think it's gonna go lower? I mean, yeah, let's say we have like a 20-30%, you know, lower. But if you look in 5-10 years, it's still gonna be higher. So it's I believe it's gonna be the main growing point for the United States. So it's see how all this billion trillions coming. It takes time. It takes like time to get the permit to do the zoning and everything. I mean, but eventually it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a boom. So you want to position yourself before things gonna happen, not like when you miss the train. It's like, oh yeah, it was a nice ride, but I'm not riding it.
It's slow money. It's not fast money, but it is real and true wealth. And so, what I like to ask my guests in the last 10 minutes or so of the show is where do you see your industry, commercial lending, and the commercial lending space currently being impacted by AI and technology? How is it impacting you day to day? And then also a follow up to that, where do you see it going to? How do you see in the next maybe year and a half, 2 years, things changing?
Yeah, AI is great. I believe everyone who is a consultant offering a service should learn, study AI. We're doing that. I have a team that we're doing content, and actually content based on experience we have. We gathering data, a lot of useful things that was not possible a couple years ago before AI, and definitely we're using and we learning. We're trying to stay on the edge, and yeah, there's gonna be a lot of opportunity for commercial. It depends which side of the opportunity you're gonna be. So it's the deals that are done right, they're gonna be good for no matter what, because it's so everybody's like, hey, I'm gonna wait until the rates drop. Now
Yeah.
my question to them is like, okay, when the rate's gonna drop, do you think it's gonna be more buyer or less buyers? Obviously,
More.
more buyers, because so the price is gonna go higher.
This is so true, and you have to have that agility, and I can't emphasize that enough. And in speaking with people like yourself, who have been able to thrive in multiple different uh, economies, multiple different markets and industries, right? You have to have that agility. And so when I'm thinking about all of this and I'm thinking about the trajectory, like I earlier said, of the real estate investor going from wholesaling, maybe fix and flips, short-term rentals, long-term rentals, and then holding notes, lending money. Is there a next phase? Do you think that once you're doing commercial, is it just scaling commercial? Is that where it is? Or is commercial really this is the end game? This is, where I see myself from here until I retire.
So basically, I'm kind of like in the service consulting, but next step is buying portfolios through, let's say, syndication or a fund. I'm working on something with one of my partners right now to acquire those assets, because like we get deals, because I mean we have access to the money, and some people suggest we can partner on a deal, because look, I mean they're gonna lose the deal, but we having access to the money, we get a piece of the move. And a lot of times we have banks, which is more interesting. So basically there's defaults happening right now, right? So there's not so many people have access, because the banks, they sell it behind, they sell portfolios, they have everything. We may see something in our chats, in the conversation with our connections, and that's the goal. You're getting something at a discount, is not even on the market, and just lined up the money, let's say investors. Because when a client comes to me, I'm looking from a business owner perspective, then from a lending perspective, and then from a investor perspective.
Mhm.
So it's like I'm telling them like, hey, those are the scenarios. It all depends what you want to do. So that's the beauty. I position them for success because I don't advise them. I give them the real situation and what options they have. So
It's a great model, and I wasn't. This is actually the first time that I've spoken so frankly with someone in your position.
yeah, yes.
And my assumption had always been that if you're lending out or participating in this, that you yourself need to be the one with, tens of millions, right?
I know.
And that's not the case, right? You can be the facilitator. Are you seeing in your field that it is expanding, or because you're the first person that I've spoken with who does this, is it still relatively a newer idea in the market?
Uh, what exactly? Like, so he's expanding, like
As far
people
as
with money?
no, being the facilitator in these transactions, you're the first person that I've spoken with who does this exactly. And are you seeing many other people get into this space?
I- it's a little bit hard to be honest, especially with commercial. It's like, I mean, sometimes you're not gonna make money for 6 months, for a year. You gotta be
Mm,
ready for that. Because I was doing trucking trailer equipment financing to you know get some deals going, but at the same working on commercial. Now
right.
I have a team that they do equipment financing. I have the trucking finance loans. We do transportation financing, so that running by itself. Then I have another department. We do the small business administration, SBA loans. So those are, I have deals going on all the time. But my George's focus is for commercial. So to take those deals going. So I'm expanding, but it was hard. It was hard to get. So it's like
The
it's
growth was
it
a lot of obstacles. And to your point, George, you know, in real estate in general, if you have all your eggs in one basket, that basket could go away or it might not bear any eggs, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so having those, you mentioned the trucking, you mentioned the SBA, those revenue streams while also putting your focus and your passion into the commercial lending is a great way to go about it. And even if you're
Yep.
not at that scale, to our listeners who might be new, I have heard so many times you just have to dive headfirst into real estate. If you want to do real estate, quit what you're doing and dive headfirst. That wasn't my experience. That was not. I tried that. I wasn't able to do that. I had to go back and get a W-2 job at least two times. At least two times. And then the third time, it stuck. But it was not straightforward. It was not easy. And I would just say to folks, who are listening to this, even when you get to a spot where you're doing commercial lending, it's still you have to have that other revenue.
Yep. 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 And because I had multiple deals. Look, I take you from A to Z. I've done my work, and the deal blows up. But having other sources, like, you feeling much better. You don't feel devastated. At the same time, I was saying that's my problem because I have only a couple deals. Now I have much more, and I mean it's a numbers game. So
Yeah.
that's the goal, to increase the pipeline and to feel more comfortable. Because, like, look, I mean, excited. I'm excited when it gets pre-approved and stuff like that, but I'm not excited anymore. I'm excited when I receive the check, the money. That's when I'm excited. Because, like, I had deals. I submitted the invoice, and yeah, everything is good because I done my work. The bank is like, hey, send me the invoice, and the deal didn't close. Something happened, blows up. So
You
but
can't
it's
count your eggs until they hatch.
take small steps, and you gotta have your eyes open for the opportunities. Let's say if you have like a deal, you don't know how to do it. People can reach out to me like on LinkedIn, George Otel, or like say, hey, how this goes? How same way I started with my mentor. Like, I'll bring them some clients. He was sharing revenue with me. So let's say you find, if any of your audience, they're working on a deal, they know someone that they need financing. They just say, hey, I know this guy George doing financing. They introduce us, giving the number and the information. I pay you 20% of my commission. I just give you for the introduction. So you're gonna get some knowledge for how the deal is gonna structure, how it's gonna work, and still gonna make money, or you decide to do nothing and say everything is bad. That's how you learn. That's you learn by no risk, because like you don't invest your money, but you can invest your time and
Yeah.
knowledge in a relationship and build it up. And I'm an immigrant. I'm a citizen now. I'm an American citizen, but that's how it started. Like, hey, how do I help? What do I need to to make you happy?
That's
Because
right.
everybody need help.
You
Everybody
got
need
to be
help.
of service to others, and I think folks are probably going to be shocked that when you're in the real estate space, especially our newcomers, people are more open to sharing their life
Yep,
story and their
yep, yep,
feedback
yep, yep,
than in other industries and
yep,
than you would think. So definitely network. I say guerrilla networking junkie, right? Just
yep.
get as many uh, mentors as you reasonably can. But George, we are coming up on time here on the podcast. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
They can go on LinkedIn, George Otel, or on usbizfunding.net or usbusinessfunding.net. And before we go, is like one of the things that made me be more successful. Uh, just getting this conversation started. Ask, listen, and listen to the person. What is they trying to say? And if you listen to them, they're gonna give you. I mean, as you mentioned, the very successful people. I ask them. I don't say what I'm selling, whatever, and then 3, 5, 10 minutes in the conversation, they saying, George, what you do? So that's the click. That's when it happened. I was at the conference recently, and this guy coming up is like he's like started talking to me because I was talking with other people, explaining, giving some data, and apparently this guy had like 500 acres. He was like working on those subdivisions for 30 years. He was like 500 acres doing hundreds of houses. So he liked the way like because like I was open. So like you never know what's gonna happen.
You really never know. But we are out of time here. But George, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And that wraps up another episode of the Real Estate Pros podcast. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.
Have a good day.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.